So first you need to understand for AWS your roles and responsibilities. How you stand in a company, what you're going to do in a company. You need to understand you are a cloud engineer who's having a complete responsibility on cloud account. A company will give a AWS account to you, account or accounts. So mostly you'll find what more than one account. Sometimes they'll go for what? One account for dev, one account for they want to go for what? Testing. They want to go for production. So basically 3 accounts will be there in your company. So when you join, so the company will have this subscription to the AWS cloud and the credential will be handed over to you. Now once your credential is given to you, that means you are able to access what? AWS services. We can go for AWS services. There is 200 plus services, you can access it and you can control. You have a full control. You are going to be act as a what? Root user. As I said already in IAM facility. So now you are now responsible to maintain these accounts and you are responsible to access any services and create or maintain. Now, what's your responsibility? Launch servers, integrate multiple services in a pipeline. Storage design, network, security hardening, performance tuning, there is optimizing. So you have to work on storage, you have to work on networking, you have to work on security, you have to work on performance, you have to work on service. So what you have to do is, basically you have to develop complete virtual data center in AWS cloud. So what is data center? Already I said, networking, storage and servers, combination of this. To create an infrastructure we need to have what? Data center. So I'm responsible to develop a data center. You should know to develop data center, networking component, networking services, storage services and computing services. If you know these services, we can develop a solution for a customer, a data center with what? High available, secure, performance, and then cost efficient. So now these are the features. Basically on the base of this, you're going to design every data center. It should be secure, it should be high available, it should be performant, and it's going to be cost efficient. So to know that, you should know understanding about pricing strategy of Amazon, how they charge, how they bill, monthly bills. You need to understand the billing concept first. Next, you need to understand about how this shared model responsibility works. Shared responsibility model. Shared responsibility model. And you should know about TCO, total cost of ownership. Total cost of ownership. I'll give you points. Now, what your duty is, what you have to work on: networking, storage, server, security, and performance. Okay. So as a cloud engineer, you're responsible for that. So now even you have to responsible for what? Security means giving access to others. Who can access, who cannot access, everything. You are responsible to protect your account and application. Now, it's not only developing or launching or creating network storage servers, even maintenance also is done by cloud engineer. Example, I created server, storage and networking, but maintenance, you need to update, you need to upgrade the hardware resources, or you want to stop, you want to recover the password. So all those things, it's your duty. It's your duty in the maintenance. It's your duty in the maintenance. Now, integration is very important part. When you go for a project, you get what? Integrations. Integrate service in a pipeline. You will allow users, developers or testing engineers, you will allow them to work, connect to your account. That is called IAM users. This is your root user, this is your IAM users. Or you can say users. And here what? Admin user. So in this way, your responsibility is this. But how you're going to get the work? You're going to work with your project manager. Project managers are connected to every team. So basically, a project manager allocate a kind of work to you. Sometimes they'll give a complete KT for you. Please follow this KT and do the work. So you should know how to follow, how to search, and all those things you should know. So these are the things we have to understand. How we are going to act as a cloud engineer. What is that? Cloud engineer roles and responsibilities. So today understanding about what basically what we understand is how I'm going to work in a company, what are my responsibility in a company, how that which account I have to work, and what are skills I should have. It's going to develop testing team, informatic. So you got the point that you are controlling AWS account. Whatever servers and storage you have given, if they are not accessible to user, you have to troubleshoot. If the performance issue, you have to troubleshoot. You are the responsible for what? Cloud resources, maintenance also. It's not only launching and creating and integrating. Maintenance is very important here. Maintenance also is important. So now it's your duty. So let's write some question answer wise. Roles and responsibility. So you're going to be what? A cloud architect engineer. So when you say the cloud architecture, what does exactly cloud engineer does? So my daily responsibility example. Number one is what? Take charge of account as a root user. Number two, create users. Take charge of AWS accounts, create users accounts for all other staffs, plan and design solution for a customer, create virtual data center infrastructure with multiple services, that is integration kind of thing, and creating virtual data center for customer demand selective services and give access to them. And then maintenance and troubleshooting. Done. That means it's not only just creating and planning and designing, it's maintenance part also. Troubleshooting, it's your duty. Maintenance means what you need to come, upgrade servers, upgrade storage, and you can say upgrade server, upgrade storage, storage servers, and upgrade networks also. Network also having its capacity, and troubleshoot. So mostly you'll find word which is server, performance issue, reset password, reset password. Now we can see next is word not reachable, Now you have what? Seventh one is automation by writing YAML script for CloudFormation to build automated function. Done with this? Roles and responsibility. Now what you need to understand is, after roles responsibility you got an idea. You have to understand shared model, shared responsibility model. What is shared responsibility model? Amazon says AWS responsible for underlying infra, all physical, I am responsible for what? I am the customers. What is that? Customer. That means Amazon account I have taken. I am responsible for what? Responsible to data application which is owned by you. Is owned by shared responsibility model. That means Amazon will take the responsibility of underlying infrastructure, physical network, storage, servers, power supply, inverters, rentals, renewals of software. Everything will done by. We don't care about it. Only I want to care about what? Data, my data, whatever I am storing, and my application which is running. I want to concentrate. So who is responsible for data application? Customer will responsible for what? Their own application and data. That means Amazon has given account and credentials, and you have given some kind of services. So the cloud engineer now responsible of what? Maintaining in a proper manner your data and application and cost management. Cost management. So you got the point? Two people are responsible. Who? Amazon and customer. Customer responsible for what? App and data and security also of their products, not infrastructure. Infrastructure will be maintained by Amazon. Physical and virtual infra will be maintained by Amazon. networking, storage, servers, physical, and then again they need to virtualize and they need to give to us. So all this kind of stuff will be done by AWS. So AWS is not totally responsible for your application data, which is your duty. You have to hire a cloud engineer properly who knows about security, who knows about backups, who knows about how to protect it. So that person is going to be a cloud engineer. Now, what you need to understand, how AWS incur bills. That means how they charge. How they charge. So how they charge? On three factors. Number one is what? Computing. Number two is what? Storage. Number three is what? So Amazon will charge on the base of what? Three kind of factors. So it's a monthly bill. It's a what? Monthly bill. It's not daily bill or weekly bill. It's a kind of monthly bill. Do I need to pay weekly, monthly, or yearly? So the answer is what? Monthly. So whenever they generate a bill for a month, they check how much you use computing, how much you use storage, how much you use data transfer. What are other pricing facility to customer by Amazon? So this is what? Pay when you use. That is called pay when you use. If you do not pay, if you do not use, don't pay. One. Pay less when you use more. If you're using more services, you have a production server and you have to use a lot of services. So Amazon is saying that whenever you grow, when you go for supermarket or anywhere, you want to purchase, you bill. They said that if you purchase minimum of cost 5,000 or 10,000, we'll give you discount of 10%, 15% something. So same thing Amazon says, we are also giving a discount when you use what? Our more services. And pay less when AWS grows. When the Amazon grows, even though discount happening, and up to here they have given what? 76 times. Decrease cost. That means from 2006 they have done 76 times pricing reduction, and they said whenever we are growing, definitely will give you benefit to you out of that. So pay when you use, pay less when you use more, pay less when AWS grows also. AWS grows. So when you want to make a calculation, you want to say that if I invest the on-premise is this much, so I'm going to be a total cost of ownership. If I go for cloud, what is the differences between data center and cloud? So to check a decisions, they have given a kind of what? Total cost of ownership. The spelling is what? Ownership. So it's a kind of financial terminology to calculate what? Two entity, two infrastructure. If they go for private, if they go for on-premise, and if they go for cloud, so it has to do. If they check, definitely it goes to where? Cloud. Security, performance, and automation. You have a lot of things in this. Very cheapest rate. So you got shared responsibility model. You got what are the pricing facility to the customer, how they attract and how they are reducing the cost. That means in a project, if you're not about the idea about the cost, you'll say don't store more. You're stopping, and you're thinking that if you store more, you'll get charged. So even if you store 10 GB now, you got some charge, $1 US dollar. But when the data is gross, it goes for 20 GB or 40 GB, 100 GB. So you're using volume-based charge. So again, the charges will be reduced. Now we got this point, pricing and TCO, and then shared responsibility model. Now we got our roles and responsibility. What you have to do, you have to create a data center complete, design and develop data center on the base of what pillar? 5 pillars of pillars to design, virtual data center. So what are the pillars are there? Cost efficient, high availability, durability, performance, and security. These all are basically we need what? Whenever we are designing any infrastructure for a customer, you have to keep in mind that it should have a security, it should have performance, it should have some kind of facility, high available also, and it should be cost efficient. So now we got idea that whenever you're designing, you have to understand AWS well architect planning. That means you have to follow some kind of strategy, principles of Amazon. What they want to say that if you want to be a good cloud engineer, you have to help to the company with this kind of statistics. Well, strategy that is cost efficient, high available, durable. That means whenever you're designing data center, you have to choose appropriate services. You have to choose appropriate services in order to save the cost, less billing, high availability, durability, performance, and security. Now, as we did earlier on IAM, Identity Access Management, where we understood what my responsibility initially when I log in, what is root user, what is IAM users, what are basically group, what are policies, what is roles, and we got understanding what is MFA, multi-factor authentication, why we prefer MFA, what is the reason? Because of security. Because of security. And why I'm creating users is a kind of protection to my account. Protection to my account. Who can access? I cannot give everyone as a administrator permission. I want to give what? Limited permission. That means it should be least privileges. Always the best practice is what? least privilege you have to give. So I have explained about multi-factor authentication. I have explained about how to use console access, how to go for AWS CLI, the command line access, and these things. So these are the things we have done in a IAM services. Now we are going to work with the second service in our subject. I'm going to go for with EC2. What is EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud. You say what? So Amazon offering computing services. There are a lot of services of computing Amazon's offers. Like example, other service which comes under computing are basically what? Number one, ECS. Number two, serverless Lambda. Number three, Elastic Beanstalk. So Lambda, ECS, Elastic Beanstalk, which all comes under what? Computing service. So we are talking about what? The common services of what? EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. We are going to talk now. Fargate also. There is service name Fargate, Lambda, Beanstalk, ECS. But now I'm going to talk about what? EC2. What is that? EC2. So now before going to EC2, the purpose of EC2. You need to understand what? Purpose of why Amazon designed this. Why Amazon has created this EC2 service. What is the purpose as a cloud engineer? As a cloud engineer, what can I do for with this service? Because as I know that IAM service basically used for what? Security and giving a protection to your account. Giving a protection to your account. Now what I need to understand, purpose of EC2. So the purpose is what? You can say to launch virtual servers in your AWS account. It can be what server? Linux or Windows. Linux or Windows. Spaces, file system or buckets, volumes, and maintain it. Now the third part is what? Networking. Whenever I say networking storage, like here I'm saying what? Virtual. All things are software based to do virtual networking for better communication and control. Just please remove this. because this is not right now, this is not this, because you're going to go for what? Launch server, allocate elastic IPs to dedicated servers, create snapshot or data lifecycle, for a specific server. Upgrade servers on demand, reset key pairs or password, Linux and Windows. Add IAM role to what? Users, in order to talk what? In order to keep AWS account secure. You have a write user data script to run what? Script on booting. Block or protect instance accidental delete. Suppose I have a server, so suddenly like here I have 50 servers, 100 servers. So what happened? Manager says something to delete what? The fourth one or fifth one, but I mistakenly delete what? Third and fourth. So I got a loss. So is it possible to protect it? I don't want to protect, I don't want to give the chance to delete it. I want some notification to be done first as a reminder. So you can create what? Lock and protect instance from accidental delete. Auto scale and ELB. That means your EC2 is having a lot of benefits and a lot of features are there. You're going to get high availability by using auto scale and ELB, block protect instance from accidental delete, user data script, IAM role addition, key pair password reset or upgrade the demand, upgrade the server on demand. You have a lot of things. Upgrade EBS value. Which is local to Have you got the point? What are my responsibility? On a purpose of EC2. So we got this point, and now what's your question now? What is pricing model in EC2? Is there any pricing models are there? Yes. How many models are there? 4 models. On demand, for developed environment, when you plan for what? So now, once you have done this, number 2 is what next? Reserved. Reserve is what? They're saying that, example, I'm renting out the cars. I'm running a business to rent a car. So one of the customer comes and says that I need a car for rent. I ask that how many days and how many hours you want to use it. So according to the charge will be applied. The customer says, I don't know, but exactly maybe 1 hour, it can be 1 day, or it can be 2 days. It may happen because I'm going for a business or something. I may return late, but I don't know what is the situation. So I have a scheme word example. I'll say what? No problem, you can take it. But whenever you return the car, we'll calculate on the hour base. We have an in and out time. So when you give again the car, so we'll calculate on hour base. Example, Amazon also saying that whenever you're using server on a rental, so you have an on demand. When to use on demand is very important for you in a real time, because not click 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 launch. You have to understand when you launch the servers whether I need to go for on demand or reserve. In dev environment and a testing environment, you have to go for what? On demand, because it's not continuously running. Sometime developer needs, sometime testing engineer need. They are going to use some time. That means infrequent access. But production 24/7, 365 days, your server should be up and running without any stop. So whenever you're going committing for 1 year, 3 years, you have to go for reserved. Reserve is basically for what? Best use cases for what? For production. So Amazon saying that when you are going for commitment of what? 1 to 3 years. So they are going to go for what? $40 to 60% they are going to give what? Discount to you. 40 to 60% they are going to give discount to you. So now we got an idea. Depending on our requirement, you have to launch a server is server, Linux or Windows, whether you launch in dev environment, whether in production. But Amazon says that when you go for on demand, you can switch anything. That means you have to pay when you use. You have to say what? Pay when you use here. But here it says that pay upfront and commit for what? Long duration, at least minimum 1 year, to get what? Discounts. So if you commit and you do upfront means advance. That means when you commit, if you stop or if you run, you have to pay. That means you are giving commitment that I want 1 year, but if you use 3 months, so you have to pay how much? 1 year payment, because you committed. So it is designed for what? Production. Always for production you have to go for what? If you stop, run, you must pay. So if you understand this strategy, so you can understand when to use this, you can understand. Then what third is going to be? Spot for rehearsing. Example, I have a challenge and I got WordPress or Nginx or something I need to install, and I need to set up this, and I need to set the password, everything I don't know, but I'm doing first time. So I want that a complete server which is what very cheaper, because I'm just doing practice. It's not a real time kind of thing. No developer using, no testing engineer. It's not a production. So I want to use on personal base, on a practice base. So which model I'm going to use? Spot. For personal use case, to do practice. $72, 90% discount, but not reliable. That means I want to say to customer, I said that I want to rent a car. So the businessman saying that, what is the purpose? I'm saying that I'm not a good driver. I want to just learn the driving. I want to learn the driving. And a stuntman want to do stunting. So if they want to do stunting, so definitely they are not going to go for Mercedes or new cars. They'll say what? Take a old car and do that. I'm a businessman, so I'll suggest them. So if you're going with that, so don't go for the costly. Go for what? We have a 70%, 80% reduce according to regular prices. But it's not reliable. Sometimes it get what? Off. You have to adjustment. It's not reliable. So Amazon saying that the server you're taking Spot, instance will be 70-90%, but don't store the data. We are not responsible for that. The instance can be terminated anytime. Terminated can be anytime. So that's the way, like you have to choose when to choose Spot, when to go for reserve, when to go for. That's very important question. Next is what? Dedicated. What is dedicated? A physical rent out. Very costly for security and privacy. For security and what? For security and privacy, we need to go for what? Dedicated. Dedicated is a rental system which says that I'm a financial institution, so I want to go for what? I want to say that I need only a physical server. I don't want shared model. Your Spot, your reserved, and all are comes under what? Shared model. Remember this point. Spot, reserved, on demand comes under what? Shared model. That means on a physical server. Once a physical server, Amazon having a physical server in their infrastructure. Out of physical server, we did what? They did virtualized. That means on a physical server, they are running 100 and 1,000 servers. And that 1,000 servers, company A using, company B using, company C. That means the physical server is same. So it can be a problem of what? Security and privacy. So that's why they want to go for what? Dedicated. So depending on the use case, but it's not a discount. You have to pay a lot for that because you want to have a physical. So depending on the situation, but mostly you'll find what? On demand and reserve. Mostly you'll find what? On demand and reserve. So before going with this, we got to understand EC2, the purpose. What is the purpose of EC2? What we can do with the help of which EC2? What are the actions I can perform? Elastic IPs, auto scaling, load balancer, and as I said, volume kind of management, upgrading, resetting passwords, attaching the IAM roles. These are we are going to do daily activities on your job. Daily activity on your job. Now, I'm just concluding this here. Tomorrow what I'll do is, tomorrow we'll talk on implementation part. We'll take a scenario. Suppose you got a kind of customer contract or a project and they said I need this server, Linux or Windows, and they want to host a website. So how can I accomplish this task? Small task, but they want single server solution. They are a very startup company. They don't want to go for multiple server architecture. They want to go for what? Single server. So how can I launch the servers? We need to understand first. What are the options? And they said what? To host a website also. Application to be running. So how can I do that? That's very important first point. Once you understand the first single server strategy, then you can understand high availability concept. If one server is down, second server will available. So you need to go for high available also and a single server solution also. So we'll see tomorrow on single server or cluster based services. Okay. Tomorrow we'll do some practicals where you can learn a lot of terminologies and the options which offered on launching. Okay, that's very important basic. Fine. So I'm just closing this. Thank you for joining.